Hey guys, welcome to the Hive's YouTube channel. I'm Jordan and I'm here with...
Other Jordan.
Yeah, again.
Again.
So tell us what you played and what you did.
I've decided to switch things up due to being bored with the meta and decided to play White Forest again. I took it to the Typhon event, I won the slaves. I took it to the Branded event, I went 3-0, which Dempsey lost out on, came second due to tiebreakers. And then he did an event after to get win his beautiful map, where he went 4-0. I didn't go to that one, as I think I was sleeping. But yeah, I've been playing White Forest again, absolutely loving it. The deck is a lot better than I thought it would be. It eats yummy for breakfast, especially with all the book and min effects. Mitsurugi can't do anything to it because the board's protected. The only real worry matchup really is Dracotale, and even with them, with the amount of the non-engine that I'm playing, it doesn't bother me at all. So yeah, without further ado, I'll get into it.
I think with both of us coming off main meta engines, apart from like me with Mitsurugi, I'm enjoying the format a lot more again. Hanging up the yummy for a bit is probably the best thing I've done mentally for the game.
Yeah, I will say playing White Forest again, just it tickles the brain in a special way, the way you can play through it. And there was one match I had against a Dracotale player, I wish I'd recorded it, because the way I was able to break their board was incredible. But yeah, without further ado, so 3 of the best starter in the deck, Elzette. She is everything and then some. The only hand trap that really hurts her is Ash Blossom, because you usually start with her and that way Dominus Impulse isn't a thing, although there are occasions where that does come up. The best extender in the deck, Elzette Azamina. Specs herself, can fusion summon, or if you use it for Synchromatil, which is 9 times out of 10 what you're going to do, she does grab you a Sinful Spells card. The strongest starter, but the one you never want to use, Astellar. She's strongest because she summons from the deck, so her only real main issue is things like Impulse, Imperm, Veiler. But therein lies the problem, Imperm, Impulse, Veiler. They're around, so you need to be aware of them. The second best starter in the deck really is Sylvie. If you do have to start with her, you desperately need another spell in hand, otherwise you're kind of locked into some weird lines. But she is a fantastic card, and her Graveyard Recursion helps her so much more.
Just point out as well, this guy has invested heavily into this deck with the bling.
Oh yeah, it's a max rarity. Every card is in the max rarity. To go on with that, I'm playing 1 Tails, 2 Witch, 1 Sinful Spells, and 1 Woes. I know some people are playing 3 Witch. I don't like to play 3 because it is the worst starter, having a lock out of Dark Monsters from the extra deck. So when I play for my combo, I like to search this off the Synchro 6 and then use it to access the next engine that we will be going into. Tails is a mandatory play. There are people who play 2 of this card, and I can fully understand why. You do want to see it, but having the requirement of a Illusion, Spellcaster or Fiend on board makes it more restrictive in what you can do. Some Spells White Forest is here just for an extra send, and also it helps you go into a certain extra deck card I'm playing. And Woes is there for your backup, as there are games where you will get stopped to the point where you just can only set 1 pass essentially along with something. So this is what you do if you do have just Sylvie and no way to really play the game properly. So Sylvie, set Woes, and then you play in your opponent's turn by just booking them in their entire field. So I was saying about that next engine that which the White Forest will get you into, that is the Diabell engine. And the card that will get you into is Diabell's the White Witch. I love this card.
Super rare.
I hate the fact it's super rare, but I love this card. I have been eyeing up an Asian English rarity upgrade of it, so I can have it, but thanks to Dempsey being around, I've made some better financial decisions by not. To go along with her though, we do have 1 Diabellstar Black Witch, 1 Diabellstar Vengeance. Black Witch kind of speaks for herself. It's a Simple Spells engine. You need to access your Simple Spells. Vengeance is part of a very funny play that I do in near enough every game. I'll go into that when I get to the extra deck, but this card is incredible. Having these 2 on your end board is ridiculous. Having a quick effect pot that summons from the extra deck and the monster destruction protection for everything means that Mitsurugi can't do anything if these 2 are on the board. To go along with Diabellstar, of course, we have on 3 Wanteds. And then, as I said, we do want to access Simple Spells cards, so we want Deception, Hollowed. I am playing something most people aren't, which is Simple Spells of Subversion, Snake Eye. This card is incredible. Being able to put things in the back row and to stop your opponent from being able to use it, like especially when you're against Branded, put Mirror Jade in the back row, they are not allowed to summon another Mirror Jade because they control 1. So you get rid of that entire threat. Obviously this does target, so it does not hurt things like Sanctifier, but it does help a lot with, like I said, the Mirror Jade. Now the mandatory one-offs, Filia and Curse. You send Curse off Diabells, Curse gets your Filia, Filia gets your Vengeance. Or there are sometimes you'll use Filia to get your Diabells, if that is what your hand requires. Then the final card of this side of the engine is Simple Spells of Slumber, Morion. Morian's just Book of Moon. However, it does have graveyard recursion where it can bring itself back. It is banished when it leaves the field, but that's where you just use a wanted to put it back and draw a card. And then you can recycle it again off the Diabellstar. So it's a nice lot of recycle. Now for the non-engine, I am committing a cardinal sin. I'm playing a mix of hand traps and board breakers, but you really need to do things like that with this deck as you need spells and traps desperately. So in terms of hand traps, there's only 6 in the main deck. Fua. This is so they can Ash Blossom the Fua rather than anything else. And Ash, so I can Ash the Fua. It's basically all that ever happens now. Now for the real non-engine, possibly one of my favourite cards in this deck, Droplet. The card's just crazy. It's so good in the format right now. It hits near enough every deck. There's very few things that can really play around it and stop it, but it really helps you play through a lot of boards, and even going into board, like just having it set on your own field. The amount of times I did Diabellstar, set original, not original, sorry, subversion, activate subversion, wait for response, chain this, send them both, just stop the board completely. It's insane. To go along with that is a very Yummy hate card, which only really comes up against Yummy, but does come up against K9 as well. Book of Eclipse. You got a problem with your board? No, you don't anymore. Nice Ido. Anyway, just keep playing through it. Obviously the talents, the call by. You need call by to hit the Droll and Lockbird, as that is the deck's main weakness, which mainly people are siding, thankfully. But now for the real MVP of the deck, the Black Goat Laughs. Starting your turn with LZ and Black Goat is incredible, because if they don't respond to it, no matter what you're against, you can just banish the Black Goat, declare a monster name, they can't use its effects on the field. I did this so many times against Dracotail, where I just banish this, call Arthalion. So your opponent is either forced to try and find me and get Arthalion into a rotation then, or just give up on it for the rest of the turn. Which is how you really get through that Dracotail board, otherwise you are going to have a bit of difficulty. Yeah, so that's it for the main deck. It's a clean 42 cards. I wish it was 40, but you do have some requirements you have to pay. Now for the extra deck, we're on the mandatory Chorozo. This is how you access the White Forest line through Diabellstar alone, as you use Diabellstar to get Deception to play Mirror Sea Lego. Mirror Sea Lego will get you Elsa Azamina, Spec Elsa Azamina, use these two to make, use Diabellstar and this to make Chorozo and Elsa. There you go, White Forest engine. Mirror Sea Lego though is crazy. There's a line that I do every turn with this that I will explain in a moment. One Ilya Sylve, and then for the Flexi cards, Morigina and Sage. So as I was saying earlier about a play I do with Diabellstar Vengeance, is I'll declare Hollowed, chain Wanted, but then I'll add Diabellstar Vengeance, as Diabellstar Vengeance is a Simple Spells card. Where are you? There you are. Yeah, it is a Simple Spells card, so you can actually use it to then fusion summon into Saint Azamina. Saint Azamina stops your opponents from targeting their own cards and itself. So you just whack this in defense in the EMZ, and it's very difficult to get over, especially with its 4,000 defense. But not only that, it can spec any Azamina from the extra deck.
So it achieves the same thing. Normally you'll be going into like the Sylvia,
yeah,
but you can just do the same thing.
You can do the same thing and heavily disrupt their board. Like with it comes up against K9 a little bit, as they can't use Lantern to target or Force Release. It also comes up against a lot of other target heavy engines. As we were saying before, that Lily was Yummy. This can really hurt Yummy's the card with Recursion. It's also pretty good against some other decks, but just having that not targeting protection is insane. Morigina is one I go into the least, but it's such a powerful card as it triggers to pop 2 when any Simple Spells card activates. So quite often I would use Morigina and then use the graveyard effect of Morian to reset itself, and then chain this to pop 2 cards. Which is just a great way of getting rid of a board. It's how I quite often was playing into boards. People were not respecting or expecting this at all, which really helps, because I love the Azamina cards, they're crazy. To go in with that, we have one Doom Dragon and one Guiding Chimera. Now you're probably wondering how we access Doom Dragon in this deck. The answer is pop out of the White Forest. This is what we're normally summoning off Diabellstar Vengeance when we use its pop effect. On summon, it can place 2 White Forest cards in the back row of spells. So we'll place 2 in the back row, and then for the follow-up turn, we've got a Doom Dragon. And then we'll use this as its own quick effect to synchro summon in our opponent's turn. Depending on what we've got on board, depends what we've got into. Guardian Chimera, as I was saying, there was just that one really extra card for Simple Spells, the White Forest. We need extra cards that we can send and recur themselves, and this is a great way to get some actual benefit out of that. Yes, there's Poplar. Now for your other White Forest names, Resilia, Sylvie and Diabell. You have to play all 3 of these.
Yeah, they speak for themselves.
Yeah, there's not really much to say about this. Search anything in the deck that you need, book them in the entire field, recurve any spell, and also summon a Synchro Tuner from the extra deck at quick effect speed by discarding a card if your opponent activates an effect.
Yep.
Not really much more than that. 1 Snake Eyes Vengeance Dragon and 1 Chaos Angel. As Dempsey was saying, it's one of his favourite cards. I was making this every turn. As I was saying before, I would use Miraciligo. So I'd have Miraciligo on board, and then I'd use Sylvie's effect in Graveyard to reborn itself. Then these 2 immediately into a Chaos Angel. There you go, Light and Dark Chaos Angel, very difficult to out. I didn't really need its banish effect, that's not what it was there for. It was just for that extra protection on the board. Snake Eyes Vengeance Dragon is what you'd use Poplar and Diabellstar Vengeance to make, as Vengeance can recur itself from grave. But this, as quick effect speed, can put any card in the back row as a spell and trap. As a continuous spell. And then during the battle phase, you can quick effect pop a monster that's a spell, and then another card on the field. Quite often I wasn't using the pop effects, I just wanted to put things in the back row to get them out of the way. Yeah, that's all the synchros. Now, the last 2 cards, I've not been into any of these recently at all.
Yeah.
I don't feel the need as much anymore. IP, SP. SP you have to play, of course, but IP I'm really considering cutting. I have been found myself wanting to play Herald of the Arclight a lot more, along with certain things like Dryasham. If you are wondering how you make Herald in a deck like this, the field spell gives you the ability to treat any level 2 as a tuner. So in some really awkward game states, let's say your opponent draws you and you have these 2 already, so you brought this out, your opponent hits you with draw, so you just special this effect, treat one of them as a tuner, there you go, Herald of the Arclight, which against some decks can insta win the game. Now for the side, I'm playing the card that kills my deck, but you have to play it. Draw Unlock Bird. Play it at 3, you have to. Along with that, the other line of defense for it, cross up. I know some people were playing Salesman back in the day, but with Draw being a side deck card now, it's not really something I feel as much threatened by, especially going into turn 1. As I've already said, people don't expect White Forest, they don't respect it. And the way that this can break a board is surprisingly very good. To go on with that, I have my most toxic package. 3 Vindal's Blessing and 1 Light Barrier Statue. Vindal's activation sends Light Barrier Statue, so you get that in grave, and then when this is sent to grave, it can reborn a fairy. So what I would do is the extra card of Diabell the White Witch, I'd use its effect, send this to special out Sylvie. Then I do 1, 2, so it's chain blocked, so that way they can't bell it. Book them in their field, put a Barrier Statue on board, good luck. End of. I didn't get to use that in every game, but when it came up, it was game winning.
I know there was a certain matchup against Pure Mitsurugi where they helped.
Oh yeah, I top decked it against Pure Mitsu. He had set up an incredible board. He had prayers set, IP set. He was very ready on the follow up, and just normal summon Barrier Statue won the game. Now yeah, to go into that, some actual good cards: 3 Frost, 1 Duster, 1 Storm, 1 Dark Ruler, and I replaced Dim Barrier with Solemn Judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I would possibly change for the side deck is actually this Vindal's Blessing package. I do really like it, but Yumi exists still as technically the best deck, so it doesn't hurt Yumi at all. And I might replace it with Deck Lockdown, as that does hit a wide variety of decks, but I'm a bit unsure, so I'll keep with this for now. But all in all, this deck is so much fun to play. I'm very glad I went back to it, and I'd recommend anyone who has White Forest to give it another shot. You'll be surprised how good it is in this meta, with the fact that nobody expects it.
Any shout outs?
Yeah, of course, to our amazing sponsors, Zenbooks, Hive, ultimatetcg and Asters World. Their links will be in the description below, and please check them out as we do have nice discount codes for them. And I will say, a lot of these very shiny cards came from boxes pulled from ultimatetcg as well, so please do check them out.
Yeah, so
thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoy White Forest. Please play it and let me know how it went. If you have any tips or want any questions about it further, please leave comments. I'll be more than happy to look into it. See you.